And welcome back to what is hopefully the last turn of the game. And let's see what happens. Okay, so the tank fires and alright, and gets shot at by infantry and panics and moves back. Fine. This infantry here, able to move into that house. Alright. The infantry here, moving along. Great. You guys are taking heavy casualties, which is bad news. And you guys are taking casualties as well. Oh shit. Alright. And the ISU is just shelling the wrong house. Alright, so like... okay. And the airstrike is hitting our own vehicle, great. So these guys... The tank is fine except for the optics, but jeez. It's like the worst turn of the game so far. Right. So we've taken some friendly fire, we've taken heavy casualties trying to advance to buildings. Oh gods. Alright, that's not looking well at all. Let's hope this is the last turn, because otherwise uh, I'm gonna have to dig myself out of that one. Yup. Alright, good. I was a little afraid there. So we've got 11 men killed and 7 men wounded, which is great, and most of them, and I sincerely mean most of them, are in the last turn. Whereas we've managed to kill 29 of the enemy and 23 of them were wounded. We destroyed 3 tanks and we lost 1 of our own. We've also destroyed 1 other armored vehicle, which is whatever it was that was in the back, I guess. And we've destroyed a Kubelwagen, which is 1 other vehicle. We've secured both of our objectives, and therefore we win. Alright. So let's see what that was. Okay, so there's a... It's not like there's no German infantry in the field, there's quite a bit of them. We can see some headquarters units here. Okay, and they've taken casualties, so that's great. Our shooting at that house definitely paid dividends. We have some infantry here. That's an HQ support team, alright. 3 guys hiding in a crater that we didn't see. We've got a support unit here, 3 men. We've got a heavily depleted machine gun squad here with just a gunner and an assistant. That's a panzer crew. That's a machine gun section. Oh, that's an HQ. All right, so another 3 men. We've got a couple of HQs here. We've got a Panzer Shrek, but the Panzer Shrek operator has actually been wounded. And then we've got... Oh, that's the tank crew. All right. That's a battalion. So there's 2 tank crews? Yep, I guess so. 1 tank crew and the 2nd tank crew. Alright. We've got a battalion HQ here, bunked up in that building, and we've got 2 mortars with loaders and a couple of HQs. Alright, so yeah, we've heavily depleted the enemy force. Let's see what it was that the plane was actually shooting at. What is it? Oh, it's a 20mm anti-aircraft gun. Oh, that's interesting. Taken out by a plane. How ironic. Well, I'm happy we did take it out with a plane, because that would have been a pain in the butt to take care of. That would have depleted our infantry very seriously, and that would have been... Well, that would have been something that we'd have to take care of with our tanks, which, as you saw, if taking fire, they become quite nervous and tend to withdraw. Alright, so there was an infantry here somewhere, but it consisted of 1 guy with a submachine gun, so it wasn't a big deal. Not as big of a deal as I thought. Alright, so that's the situation, and our situation in the town is actually looking very strong up until this turn, which I admit did a little thoughtlessly, I guess. Because I didn't notice, for example, that my ISU was shooting at my own building, because the line of fire clipped through it. So yeah, that sort of dumbness depleted my forces, but the turn back we were quite okay. And I think anyway, with this force, we would be in a good situation to take over the rest of the town, seeing as it was mostly defended by this point by command teams of various sorts. There was no one in the church actually, so I guess we took care of everybody here. Yep, looks like it. All right, a line of casualties. There we go. Can we see the casualties here? We don't actually see any. Okay, so all right. So I won quite well, which I wasn't expecting actually. Mirek is a tremendously good player, or at least a better player than I am. So why did I win this time? I think he might have underestimated the scouting he had to do, and my scouts were everywhere and seeing everything, which allowed me to track the enemy movements very easily. We've once we get gained contact with the hetzers, we've basically had our units had our units see them and track them and predict where they would be, which allowed us to do a couple of good actions like the one with this hetzer here in the woods, which we basically took by surprise, although I'm betting the purpose of that hetzer was to take me by surprise by coming up in my rear somewhere. And the only reason I've seen that hetzer is because my infantry in the building here just kept an eye on him for all the time. Yeah, so we could react to that. And similarly, we knew there's a hetzer here, and we knew exactly where it would be moving. We knew when it went around the hill. We knew when it went back, so we could react with our own units here. The only tank unit that really got destroyed was by infantry, and we didn't have eyes on that infantry. And we were mostly using units in the circumstances when we basically didn't see what's going on. So scouting, I think, was the most important thing um, that we have done and that we did do. Let's see, we can see some combat victories, right? So Mr. Rudyakov inflicted 11 enemy casualties and destroyed 2 hetzers on his very own, well, with his team. So a field promotion for him. This squad didn't do anything, but that's a valuable squad nonetheless. These guys shot up 15 of the enemy infantry. These guys destroyed the Kubelwagen and the Kubelwagen driver. Yep, these guys fire a little bit. These guys, what is this? Oh, that's the other tank command. So they've actually destroyed the other hetzer. The assault gun, my most fearsome unit really, didn't inflict any casualties whatsoever because it failed to spot the hetzer when it was coming around the corner, and the hetzer withdrew, spoiling our fun in destroying it. So, and this tank killed 3 infantrymen. All right, good enough. Right, and this team killed absolutely nobody and lost 2 people in the process, and they might have been one of my most valuable teams because they sat in those bushes and just basically saw anything that was going down this road, which allowed us to react very, very well. Yeah, so scouting. I also think I was lucky, very lucky, when I caught enemy infantry passing through here, completely unawares, and I was prepared to shoot with my tanks at that exact moment. That was an enormous bit of luck, which helped me uh, gain the upper hand, really. I think I did well by progressing carefully through the middle of the town, although the defenses were definitely stiff, but I think lots of tank support, a lot of mutually supporting infantry, that all worked out well, and yeah, that worked. So I think I did all right there. A couple of places where I didn't do all right is places like here, where I tried doing a stupid thing with my assault gun, but luckily I just got my senses in the last moment and decided to not do that. Um, yeah, the circumstances in which we lost our tank weren't were bad as well. I mean, That is also partly to my just stupidity and trying to advance further into infantry, which I know I shouldn't do because of weapons like the Panzerschreck and the Panzerfaust. Just getting close to infantry, which is already in buildings, is a bad idea. What I should be doing is going out of my way to stay in long distance with my tanks and just fire. So that's the mistakes I made, and luckily I didn't make too many mistakes. Or if I did make mistakes, like having my infantry advance into this building in the sort of early stage of the game, I was lucky enough that they managed to withdraw without, well, with just one casualty. So where I made mistakes, I guess I was lucky. Um, yeah, and Mirek's mistakes, I guess, didn't come out so lucky for him. Um, all right. I can't wait to hear his perspective on the whole thing. I'm going to send him all the videos so he can watch and be amazed where my forces actually were. And I'm interested to hear. I will be interested to hear where he thought they were and how many forces he actually thought I had. Because, well, hopefully we did a little bit of a magic trick with our tanks, making them appear to be, well, in basically everywhere at once. So he would have a hard time counting them. I hope we handed him a nice surprise by hiding our ISU till the middle part of the game, and I'm not sure if he knows how little infantry I actually had on me. He had a much more diverse force, which I guess would be good if only he managed to get into position faster. I really expected him to be there faster. I kind of half expected half tracks or trucks or anything, like I said in the beginning. That would get him there much faster and he would have an upper hand and we would have a very difficult time storming sort of fortified or semi-fortified positions right here. Instead, we kind of had equal terms here. He didn't really push for those buildings, and yeah, mostly because he got caught in the open. But he got caught in the open mostly because he wasn't really advancing that far, or was he? I mean, it's not like he didn't advance very far. I just thought he'd be further. I guess he didn't want to stick around here in the open, which is fine. I mean, that's probably what I would have done. But I definitely run full bore, and I definitely used my tank riding abilities, even at the cost of splitting teams, to get people as far as possible very, very early. Um, all right, so that's me. What do you call that? Well, that's me jabbering on about the battle and what I think about it. I hope some of you found it interesting, and we'll probably start playing some other battle with Mirek very, very soon. So uh, if you want to hang around, see you then, and otherwise, whatever. Bye.